Okay, so now we're going to go through and show everybody what crash sites look like, because we're currently playing in 104 on the PC, but this is going to be the version that we will get on PlayStation and Xbox. So one of the upsides of us being on the PC is that A, we can show everybody some of the changes right now, and we can show people the interactive map while we play, which is really nice to help people get acclimated, because again, we said this before, we'll cover it while we drive because we do have a bit of a journey. But we want to show people how to find crash sites. Our crash site setup is going to be up here. Let me roll back just a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Because with the new update, it's going to be more difficult to scan crash sites. So you'll need to know how to do it on the same server. As you can server jump, but you will not be in the same location. If you were geared and I were to jump now, I would not end up in the location I'm at now. I would end up somewhere else. And not on the shoreline, but I'd be inland somewhere. So this is my character now. If I were to jump servers, I would not be in this location. I would still be geared, but I would not be in the same location. So you can no longer server hop in like a location with a lot of crash sites and just keep checking them between servers. You have to know how to get inland and loot all of these, or not loot them, but at least go past them to see if any of these are actually in the location. And that's what we're doing today, to show people, because when the wipe happens and everyone's looking for the good gear, you're going to want to know how to do it the old-fashioned way, which we never forgot. So starting off, I am chilling right here. Jade Monkey, this is Cherno. We call this portion, we call this portion Cherno, Cherno City. This part here that I'm circling is Cherno Industrial. It's all Cherno, more or less. I don't speak Russian, so we kind of just gave it the more simplistic name. But if you start somewhere in Cherno, this is below the airstrip, by the way, and you head inland, and this is the power plant. We did do a build video on that. Hopefully that happens this week or next. Hopefully there's no more delays, you know what I'm saying? We are recording this on July 29th. It is it's the afternoon now for me, but we're looking at the military camp here and the power plant up in this location, very close to Cherno, basically showing you how to do this on foot. We will be doing this in a vehicle to speed things up, but it's very realistic that you can do these things. There's the military camp, or the checkpoint, and there's Cherno. If you keep going in this direction, you will hit the ocean, and that's the power plant, which is exactly where we will be starting when the wipe happens for Xbox and PlayStation. Unfortunately, it was delayed today. Again, this is recorded / streamed on July 29th. So hopefully we get some good news and we get the update early in August, but we don't know yet. But anyway, so we're focusing on crash sites, how to find the rare loot. So we're going to pick this up, and we are going to head, let me go ahead and zoom in just a little bit. Again, if you're in Cherno, you can just head inland past these apartments and get on this main road here. Just find this power plant. It's a bit easier to find because of all the power lines that kind of intersect into this point, and it is close to a lot of these spawn points, which is nice. I'm going to scroll back just a bit further so you can kind of see where it is in the grand scheme of things, and then we will roll it. Okay, so we are heading up this road here, this little hand, and we're going to head up to Cause, and we're going to check one of the crash sites there. And we have a good 9 crash sites we can check on foot rather easily. Hopefully the audio for the vehicle is down low enough. Yep, you gotta love the Gunter. It's a real sack of crap. Let me see, the chat says, I do believe the devs do care. They want the console version to succeed. Yeah, they do. They have minimal resources. And I know it sucks. Believe me, we play primarily on the console, so we want it just as bad as everybody else. So again, this can all be done on foot. If you're lucky enough to have a vehicle, yes, that is the preferred way to do this. And we did find a crash site earlier, which was nice, but again, just because you hit these crash sites doesn't necessarily mean you'll find one, or even the loot you're looking for, because these crash sites do spawn in on these locations randomly, these bright pink locations, or they could potentially spawn there, and it's not always a for sure thing. Like, there's only so many crash sites per server, and they pick those spots across the map randomly, so it's good to know where they are and find the best location where they're all condensed together. Man, this car does not want... There we go. We waited for daytime for this, so it's a bit easier. So So yeah, so loot cycling, I know we talked about it earlier, but loot cycling is something you definitely want to do on these crash sites. You want to make sure, even if it's loot you don't want, you want to pick it up and move it. In 104 you can throw it, which is quite satisfying, I'm not going to lie. And the reason why you want to do that is there are despawn timers, so you're not going to get another helicopter spawn to spawn back on top of you, but what you're doing is you're making it so another helicopter crash site after a certain... Oh my goodness. Am I not going to make it up this hill? Wow. Wow, maybe we should have started further up. Yikes. There is a cooldown once you pick things up and the crash site does despawn, but allows another crash site, a fresh one, to spawn elsewhere on the map. So you do kind of want to be a good citizen and do those things. If it's loot you don't want, you just want to move it off the spawn point. Now we're passing the first house on this road going inland from Cherno City. And then we're heading to Kos, K-O-S something or other. I don't speak Russian. And then we're going to come up on our first crash site on the right-hand side. Crash sites are easy to spawn because of those giant smokestacks. I don't think we'll be able to see it quite yet, but we are getting there. How long did they make the delay? Again, this is July 29th. It's not going to be this week. Today's Monday. So depending on when this goes out as a video later, or a stream to video, whatever. Yeah, so take that for what it's worth. They did officially announce today, Monday, that they are not going to make, or at least they said indirectly, it's not going to be a PlayStation release this week. I think Xbox and PlayStation are going to be together, from what I can also piece together, but we'll see. We don't technically know yet. They haven't told us anything. We just know there is a delay. Here we go. We're coming up on the first town. You can tell because that big red barn. And as we found out earlier, you need to pass it just a little bit. Now we should be able to see a smokestack just above the barn. You should be able to see it. Okay, see where that greenhouse is? Yikes, up the hill. We should be able to see it above this stack of trees here. You would actually see it almost in between these two power poles. You would see the smoke rising or shifting there, and then you go, oh, okay, that's a crash site. So just so we mark it on the map where we are, this is crash site 1 where we're looking, and let me move the mark up. We are chilling like right here-ish. And we're going to be heading towards Green Mountain, again, because it has such a big point of interest, a big visual reference for us to follow, and we're almost coming up on Kos, K-O-Z. Did I say K-O-S earlier? K-O-Z. And if there was a crash site up here, you would take the first turn, and then you would head up towards that greenhouse up on the hill, which we can see right there on top of my bayonet. Anyways, onward, because we have 9 sites to check. Not all of them smoke. They are different types. Yeah, you could go up and physically check them. I don't know if that's a glitch or if that's on purpose, but yeah, you're right. We'll just show you the location where it could be here, and we'll keep pushing. We'll actually walk over the other spots up the way. I love your bush. I hope I don't wreck the vehicle. I'll show you the road you would want to turn on if it did show up over there. That's false. K-Brank, it's not been released for the Xbox, as far as I know, last time I checked. This is the road you go up to, and that's where you'd head over to the little green guy. We're going to go through KOZ, and we should start to see the spire for Green Mountain just past the city. Again, this is obviously the best way to do it in a vehicle because you can travel much faster. Oh, look at that backpack, baby! That's the other thing with 104. These zombies carry a lot of extra loot now, which is tight. Yeah, that zombie had a mountain backpack that you can take. We're going to take a right here at the intersection and then head towards Green Mountain. You can tell because of the giant radio spire. I noticed that my view range isn't as far as it is on the Xbox or on the PlayStation, which is interesting because this computer can handle it. Might be in my settings, but time to die, zombie. Alright, we're just going to roll past. Screw that zombie. Green Mountain will be... We should be able to see it after this... what is that? It's a house. There it is. It's up on this hill. Yeah, see, surprisingly, I cannot see. There it is. So we're going to head towards Green Mountain. Actually, let me make sure I'm not skipping one here. I think there's a couple in the valley here. This is not the typical route. Yeah, there is. Okay, so we are hitting this spire here, and there would be a crash site right above my bayonet. So as you head towards Green Mountain, there could be one, could be, not always, there on the left-hand side, again, just above the bayonet that's poking through the top of the car. It looks white. It's a pretty easy spot in an open field, which is nice. Another reason why I picked this location, not only because it's dense with crash sites, but they're easy reads from afar. We'll be doing a few of these from a distance. If you really want to do your due diligence, you can walk close to almost all of them, just in case they aren't putting off smoke. If you have a vehicle, it's much, much easier to make that, you know, to run up on it and actually check it. This car is not great for this little pass here. Green Mountain's great too because there's a lot of visual lines to find these crash sites. I love your bush. Man, I'm in first gear and I'm still struggling through this. Come on. I would do the first person, but I messed up the glass real bad. Flashbang test. That video. You'll see why. Oh, I should also mention, DayZ Highlights playlist. I do post there daily. Daily DayZ videos. Sometimes 2, sometimes 3 a day. We do play other open world survival, but definitely a lot of DayZ, so we do post there. Another reason to check out the DayZ Highlights playlist, and also maybe a reason to subscribe and turn on that notification. I think you have to turn on, I don't know how that notification bell works. I know they made a change, but yeah, a good reason to turn it on. Are you kidding? Look at this car, it's such a piece. Oh my god, come on. It's gonna be a little painful here, but you'll be glad we have it in a minute. What a piece of crap. What? Oh, wow, that freaked me out for a second. Alright, we're gonna have to do the sideways shimmy. This feels a lot like the Ada was when it first came in. It was really not great. Come on, you giant piece of crap. Wiggle it. Go. Try not to bounce my leg, because it's directly shaking the camera, I think. Yeah, somebody said, Dave Z says, duping takes ages, just look at Ark. That is a terrible example because that community, or actually it's not the players, but the developers, are the worst at responding to anything in the community, but that's just my opinion. Okay, we're coming up to a paved road. That's how you know we're going to take a right. And I just want to make sure I reference all the proper locations. I'm going to try to move up my markers, so at least if you're using a third-party app, you can follow along. It doesn't have to be iSurvive. That's the one we're using currently. We're sitting right here, so conveniently on the split, we are sitting right here. We would see it right roughly above the white bayonet poking through the top of the car. So we are on, which one is this one? I labeled it. That is crash site 3. So in a short amount of time, we've checked 3 crash site locations. Another reason why it's so great. I think you can see the one to the right, but I didn't put it on there. Although, do note that off in the farm area next to that giant water tower, you could potentially catch another one, but I'm trying to stay focused on the ones that are close by, you know what I mean? Okay, so we're pushing onward to crash site 4. Oh yeah. Crash site 4, which is in the valley. I guess you could spot it here, but anyways, this is just the ones we have labeled. I think we're going to take, yeah, we're going to take it through Pogo and then cut through here. This is where we started. We actually found one up here earlier, but alright, so again, using Green Mountain as a reference point, that giant candy cane spire. We're going to cut into Pogo. We're going to stay in the main 2-lane paved road. trying to use a lot of points of interest that are easy to spot from range. And hopefully following along on the map so it helps everybody else out. I do know we have a... Oh, what? Is that another Gunter too? Get out of here, dude. We're coming back for you later, my girl. Yes. Somebody left that there. I don't think that's a spawn point. Oh, it is. No, somebody moved it. Anyways. Whew, got all excited. Is the zombies loot damage? Not when you run them over. As it stands now, today's July 29th, and it is... This is version 104. Yeah, they definitely... Somebody moved that one. Maybe somebody hit something. There's Pogo. I think we should have one here in the valley close to the church. Just before we pass the church, which is that mushroom tip looking building. There should be, I think, 2 in the valley here. Let's just double check. My memory serves correctly. We are coming along here, so yes, in town, past almost that junction point. We would see it in this open space. So just above the bayonet, I'm going to trace across. In this area, you would see it pretty clearly. As long as you do the zoom in and give it a second, like hold still, you should be able to see them. And then the next one is going to be on our left, and then one at that junction point. The one we actually found earlier on the same server. Lee says, are you in a private server, Jade? Negative. I am in a official server. Please do not stream snipe me. It's always good to just kind of zoom in a little bit, take a look, as long as you have a clear shot on your road. Green Mountain is here on my left. Yeah, you would see it in that open field. It's pretty obvious. And we're going to cut up at this intersection on the left-hand side. And keep going. Did I read that 104 some zombies will have backpacks? Yes. We actually ran one over earlier. And a lot of the military type zombies, you definitely want to kill them and check their loot because a lot of times they have good stuff. As we saw earlier, there's definitely a spawn point up here. And now, because we cleared that, and it's a good example of doing the loot cycling in the legit way, so all the old timers that haven't played in 3 years don't go, "What? You're ruining the game!" You're like, relax, dude. We're talking about the real stuff, not the whatever stuff from 3 years ago. It is going to be up at this junction. Yeah, since we loot cycled it, this one actually cleared, and if you notice, there's not a new one. Alright, so right at this junction point here again, there's Green Mountain because of the candy cane. If we look at this fork we have here, where's JD Nuts? We just came through here, and that was our turn that we took, little butt cheeks. And then we're going down this road, and we hit the split. We are going to want to take the split here, but if we back up, that's crash site number 5 on our right. So you know, just before you take this left-hand turn, if you look off to the right, this would be crash site number 5. And because you loot cycled it, it actually cleared. And so there's potentially another helicopter spawn somewhere else on the map. It's almost indefinitely not going to be close to where you just were, so keep that in mind. Lee says, zombies with backpacks are going to look like players. You're not kidding. They really do. Alright, so we're cutting off to the left, getting closer to Green Mountain. You can tell because it has that, like, well, spire thing. And as we go past this group of trees on our right-hand side, there's a very visible crash site in this opening, and we call it crash site 6. So taking the dirt road off here, this would be 5 here just above the bayonet. It's poking through the rooftop. You would definitely see it in the field or the smoke, or both. Keep going. It says, my heart is broke. Rip player base till 104. I know, right? Don't worry, we'll be clapping some dupers on 102 tonight. And we're going to come out past this little patch of trees. Hopefully my car doesn't stall out again. Know what I mean? And this is just one of many places that you can do these runs for crash sites. So I guess you could call it a loot run. The other one, I want to say it's like right where the bayonet is, in this open field. It's pretty obvious when it's out there. Kind of hoping we find one in this little journey, just to kind of illustrate. I think it's here. Yeah, we'll see in a minute. I don't typically do it up from the side. I usually hug that tree line up by Green Mountain and then look out into the field. But I'll have to do it. Woo! See right there, a little performance spurt. See, we get it on PC too. It's definitely the game. You know what? It's not in that field. It's just up further. Make sure I don't run into a pole. This car is so damaged that I don't think we can survive another hit. Alright, yeah, it's just below this hunting stand. You would see it in between this like gap of trees. Basically in this like hump field, where the bayonet's at, you would see it up in that field. We're gonna head up towards the barn here. In this location. Oh, wait, is that the barn? Am I crazy? No, I'm sorry. The barn's right here. We are sitting like here-ish. Hang on, let me give you more of a, so you can actually see where we are. Yes, there's Green Mountain. Give it a few seconds for people to catch up, so I'm not just like click, click. Arlene, the General Mastiff. Thank you for the subscribe on the tubes of you. And that was a minute ago. Is it like a bull mastiff? Sorry, I know it's taking a bit longer, but I just want people to see where we're going and hopefully where the crash sites are. I know it's weird because we're not actually seeing them, but I want you to know where they could potentially spawn. That's what makes it hard, because until you see one in game, you're like, is that it? Is that not it? It's hard to get a sense of scale. Coming up on this weird junction piece here, and then we're going to cut out towards the main road. I think I could cut across. Hang on, let me just take a look. I think I can. Again, Green Mountain, still right there. We're hugging it the entire way. Like, Green Mountain, we started here, following the hand. Went through Pogo. Let me back up just a little bit. There you go. There's Green Mountain. We started here. Well, we started way down there, but at that first junction, here's Green Mountain. Following the hand, went right up here, hit the split, and now we're coming back around this way, and we're going to head in this direction towards crash site. Did I miss 7? I did. No, I didn't. It's off to the right. Okay, that's good. There it is, 7, and then I'm glad I looked. So we're still like right about here. Well, we're more like here. Says yes, or no, he says, when is 1.04 coming out now? Not soon enough. Without the ability to walk like a zombie, to cover yourself in zombie blood. Walking Dead. I've never taken this route before, so I hope I don't hit anything solid. Again, we're still hugging Green Mountain. That's a good indicator. You can follow the main road, but I'm cutting. There's that barn collection there. And just above the bayonet here, when you're close to the barn, it'll do it from the road, so it'll make more sense. There's the pond. There's another good identifier. A little caravan. Green Mountain. As we get to the main road, I'll show you where the other potential crash site could be. Just so there's a point of reference, so you're not in the middle of a field and you're like, is this it? As we head away from Green Mountain now, and we're on this dirt road heading towards the barn, the other crash site would be right where my bayonet is, above the car there, that little white slit. And that is crash site 7, out there off yonder. Yeah, as we head up past the barn. Or no, it used to be up here. It is a bit further, so I guess it would be out. Is that right? No, we should have been able to see it back there. You know what? Shit. It's beyond this row of trees. I'm sorry. It used to be here. They must have moved it. Because I know there's like another crash site that's close to the barn that you can totally see. Let me just break out. Okay, so there's the barn. There's green. That's what's throwing me off. Or I was mistaken, and it was always over there, and I'm just dumb. We're going to go out and show you where it's at. It's past this row of trees. There's one that spawns in this, like, giant open patch. Or there used to be. I don't know. Maybe it changed. So the other potential spot is just out here in this open field. Just above my bayonet. We broke out into this open field. We see it just off yonder. There's the barn to the right, and we would see a smokestack off in the distance. Or not a smokestack, but it'd be like over in this pit. Basically, if you can see that supermarket, no, that's a gas station. If you can see the gas station from here, and you don't see a smokestack or wreckage, it's not there. So there's that long barn. We're going to double back again, Green Mountain behind us. I just want to make sure we're covering. That is crash site number 7. That's a little tricky. Says, I love the game, though. Sadly, I can't play it the way it was intended. Yeah, I know, right? Never seen a crash site yet on PS4. Oh, you will. Keep doing it. Nathaniel Rodriguez, thank you for that subscribe on YouTube. Appreciate it. Alright, we're going back to our main line here. Hopefully we're back on track, right? Sorry. This little squiggle, and we'll head towards the barn again. Green Mountain on our left-hand side. Candy cane. There is the pond, caravan. And as we head towards this tree line and the actual dirt road, you can see the barn here on the right. See that red rooftop? Hopefully the camera angles are in a helpful manner and I'm not spazzing around too much. Did I ever shoot the road? Nope, it's right here. And Green Mountain should be behind us, and the barn is in front of us. Now this should look familiar. We've come out here a few times. So barn in front. We're at like a dirt road junction. Green Mountain behind us. Go ahead and move my marker where we are exactly, so this makes a lot more sense. We are exactly at this split. There's green. There's the barn, and we're heading towards this direction. We did just check crash site 7. We're heading down this road. This is another good place because there's a potential Olga spawn. Yeah. And you can, well, there's obviously more military stuff here, and there's a wide open field crash site, which we got a few streams ago. We actually found crash site number 8. And rounding the corner to our last crash site we're going to check. Again, the reason why we check this is because this is a nice pathway you can check a lot of very closely packed together potential spawns. It's not going to guarantee it, but it definitely helps to do something where, or to check a random location that has a lot of spots close to you. Because you're going to have to do this on foot at first. Hopefully you guys find a vehicle. Ooh, just got to pull right there. Just like Council. Yeah. Hopefully the server doesn't melt. I want us to get through the last crash site. You know what's crazy? They did change this because there used to be another crash site just past the barn. It was like in this field right here. I think this is the one they moved. There used to be one chilling right here. Yeah, they definitely moved it. And there was another one like down in the valley here, but anyways, onward. Does anybody need a squad on PS4? IE. Our Discord's a pretty good place for that stuff. Oh man, the server's oh no. Okay, we're good. Oh, the server is maintained long enough for us to finish this line. I don't want to wreck the car before then. I almost did just then. Okay, there's our tent. Might be an Olga spawn. We're going to hit it. And we're going to check for the other crash site. Man, it's really wiggling. Yeah, we're creeping up on the start of prime time. Definitely not throttling like that. It's definitely the game. So here is the military checkpoint and potentially an Olga spawn. Is that an Olga sitting right there? That's a wrecked husk. Yep, okay. So, and in this field right here, we should be able to see the other crash site. Oh, you dead. Another reason why this line for checking crash sites is good, because we've crossed a couple different military locations along the way. At least 2 that I can think of off top. And you always want to run over those guys or smoke them, because they most likely have some type of military gear. Gear, weapons, usually ammo. So this crash site would be, let me zoom in, right where the bayonet would be. One of our crash site videos that we did, that was the one that we found. It was at nighttime. We had night vision goggles on. So to show you where we're sitting now, we're sitting in a field. So we're going to double back and head down this road to check out the potential, or the last one in our list, which is crash site number 9. We can't see Green Mountain anymore. Boo. We're just going to stay on the main road so it's a bit easier to find. Plus there's a lot of fences. I don't want to wreck this late in our... I love your bush. It says best loot is the LAR or SVD VSS. It can be. Honestly, I think the best weapon is the one you got ammo for. Am I right? Oh, he did. All right, let's head down. This would be the one back there. Would be crash site number 8. Doubling back. There's the barn again to give us reference. This is the military checkpoint that we just passed a second ago. We're heading back kind of the way we came. But instead of going back towards the barn and the spire, Green Mountain, we're going to take a right on this junction. I'm getting weird spurts of lag. It's not good. We wrecked a few cars over here before. Vehicles. Hopefully we can go inland and then check some more server hopping too, because I know we've collected some data on it so far, but I want to see where more of the potential spawn points are going to be for server hopping. We've identified 3 major locations, but if there's an additional one, I'd like to know. So it's going to be... I'm actually not 100% sure on this one, because there's some slight changes. Alright, as we pass this town, we cut out into the open. We should see one just before we head into this larger town. We'll see like a church. That'll be probably the most identifiable thing as we head down. And that'll be crash site number 9, the last one in our line. Swish. I love your bush. Oh, we got the wiggles. That's bad. That's bad. Makes me nervous, dude, for the 104 update for driving a car. That means the server is eating it. I love your bush. I don't know if getting out and you know, not driving it for a second helped, but whatever. Just before we should see this larger town here. We wrecked a car on that sign on a previous stream / video. Oh, it's a chicken, get wrecked. Bart. We should see the silhouette of a town, I think, coming up. It's going to be on the right-hand side down this road. And there's Green Mountain. I want to say it's like right in this hook. Like above the bayonet right now. Let me just double check. Yeah, I think so. It's going to be just past this body of water then. Okay. Yeah, I think it's right. Oh, wait. Body of water. And then the tree line. Yeah, so it would definitely be on top of this hill. I was right. So you would see it on top of there. So that's crash site number 9. There's, let me back up a little bit. Let me just make sure we've got, there's a barn there for reference. Is that, there it is. There's Green Mountain, you sexy girl. And there's crash site number 9 just above the bayonet. And again, this is the way you want to loot, or you're going to have to loot Lars SVDs in the future 104 patch coming for Xbox and PlayStation. Unfortunately, it's not out yet, as I did record this, stream this on the 29th of July, but it is coming. Everything you see here is coming for us on the consoles, so that's our path. Starting with crash site 1, following the hand, hitting the split, going to crash site, I'm sorry, before the split, crash site 2, following the hand, crash site 3 at the V, taking a right, heading to Pogo, looking to the right, that's crash site 4 from the field. As we go through Pogo and take a left at the first junction. Going up, there's a dirt road split, there's crash site 5. Still following Green Mountain, you go over towards crash site, or I'm sorry, towards, I guess, yeah, you just skirt Green Mountain, you see crash site 6. And as you work your way around, you can see crash site 7 on your right, and going all the way towards the military camp, which is where we were. Let's go ahead and move ourselves down here. And you can see crash site 8 while you loot this bad boy. And then doubling back, heading through Sosnovo Boka? I don't know how to say that. And you keep coming down just before you hit the larger city, which is Chernogorsk. And hit the other crash site, which we're at now, which is crash site number 9. You can do this on foot, but it is recommended that you do it using a vehicle if you can, but 100% doable. And this is how you, one of many places you can find potentially crash sites and find that juicy loot when 104 hits, because we're all going to be starting at 0, baby.